news of the day was obviously James, getting the repair of the meniscus. What is your general takeaway from what you learned about his surgery?
Well, obviously, very disappointed that it wasn't the more simple repair that would have kept him out a month or so. So this is a really tough blow for James, and I talked to him today, and he's in good spirits. He's always got a bright and sunny approach and attitude, but it's a tough blow, to lose the last month of the season and then the summer as well. And, so we're going to do everything we can to help him in his rehab. And good thing is he's got, it's a very positive repair. The surgeon felt great about it. Our training staff feels great about it. And long term, we think he's going to be fine. But it's obviously a tough blow for James.
Steve, going into the surgery today, did you have a sense that this is what it would be? Because you mentioned you were hoping maybe it was the shorter repair.
Basically, Joe, the prognosis was the surgeon Neil Elitrash would go in to determine what he needed to do, and there was a chance that it was going to be just a trim and a 3-4 week deal. But there was also the chance that it would be the more serious repair. So we didn't know until he got out of surgery exactly what was going to happen.
What's your kind of wider scope view of his rookie season? What you liked? What just your general thoughts on his rookie season?
Well, obviously this has been a very tough season for everybody in terms of not having summer league and in James's case, training camp, and there's been the COVID protocol. So every team has kind of gone through similar trials and tribulations. So within that context, James, I think, had a really productive rookie season. For a guy who never played in college to come out and show the promise that he did. I think he's got a great future, but it's clear that he's very raw. That's obvious, and how could he not be given his inexperience? So it's great that he got all this experience. It would have been better, obviously, if he could have gotten more and then a summer and all that. But he's got to play the hand that's dealt him, and he's been just a really rock solid student and patient, and he's really had to deal with an awful lot for this first year, and he's handled it well.
This may be way too early for this question, but how do you still try to maximize his summer? I mean, because obviously, he can't play summer league, all that, but he's also not just going to sit in his room all summer. So how do you kind of try to maximize that?
Yeah, Theo and I talked about that today. We've got to do our best to get him on the floor and watch film. We can't put him through drills, obviously, but once he's mobile and can move around, we can still get him on the floor and continue to show him what's in front of him defensively, and walk through coverages and that sort of thing. So we'll try to be as creative as possible this summer.
Steve, knowing it was the more serious of the surgeries, do you guys have any idea yet when it's going to be possible to get him back playing a little bit?
No, we don't at this point, Nick. And I think in the statement we put out, we said we would make a statement in September, I think, or have an update in September. So, at this point, it's just indefinite, and we'll see how he responds.
How are you processing the news that James Wiseman will be out for the rest of the season and that he has kind of a long recovery ahead of him?
Mm-hmm. It's tough, especially for injuries is tough for anybody, but especially for, a rookie, a young kid coming in. And I feel like these last couple of games before he got hurt, he was really finding himself. He was in a nice groove. defensively, offensively, and having fun with the game. But he's a tough kid. He works hard, and I know he's going to come back even better.
How do you guys absorb the news about James? He's going to be out a little bit. How do you guys absorb that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I've talked to him. Some guys as well have talked. If you look at the reality of it, he's had the hardest transition of a rookie season of anybody in NBA history. From obviously dealing with the COVID stuff, the 3 games, played in college, coming right into getting ready for the season. Missed the first, couple of weeks of training camp, getting thrown right into the fire, playing, hurting his wrist, coming back, starting to get some stride, another protocols, then starting to get some more stride, and then this. So, I mean, it's tough, but, it's obviously you can see that everything's promising, and, just continue to wish James a speedy recovery with him going through this process. But, it's tough for, a young guy to really get his footing when, he's starting to play well. In 2 weeks has, another setback. And these are things that you just can't control. They come with the game, but, just praying for James, praying for his mental. He stays strong, he gets back healthy and, better than, the player that he was this year. And, going forward, hopefully, there's not as many protocols and things that, he'd have to deal with in the future.
Could you give a kind of a bigger picture view of James Wiseman's rookie season, what you thought of it and what you kind of think is ahead for him, which includes obviously a knee rehab?
I mean, honestly, it's tough. He was his head in the right direction, showing signs of progress. And like I said before, every time he got a good rhythm, either it was COVID protocols or his wrist and now the knee. So I hit him earlier today to let him know he has to think big picture in terms of, he's 20 years old. He's got a lot of basketball ahead of him, and he has an opportunity now to flip a terrible situation on his head and really work on his body, work on his mind in terms of what it's like, at this level and take in as much as he can watching us play and then come back stronger and healthy, whenever that time is. So that's the perspective you got to have. Easier said than done when you want to play and injuries take you out. But hopefully he understands that and is going to be patient with it.
Steph, getting back to James for a second. You obviously played with him this season, and you played with Clay for years. How difficult do you think it's going to be going into training camp next year, whenever James is able to return, to get him comfortable in the system while also reintegrating Clay into what you all are going to do?
Honestly, I don't know. We'll find out then. There's a lot to happen before, we get our mind in that space. I don't think it's fair to answer that question in terms of where we are right now.